Okay, so a few months ago, we got a new feature on Google Stitch called Pitch Deck, and essentially you can turn your design prototype that you created into a presentation document. And I think that's quite reasonable given that many people who are using Google Stitch are using the platform for creating a design, but later they still need to convince someone in the higher up that the new design is better. But unfortunately today, when you check Google Stitch, there is no option to turn your design prototype into a presentation, even though earlier it said that it's going to be rolled out to all users. But I suppose because this new feature is still in the experimental phase, Google decided to not bring the feature. So basically we don't have the option to turn the design into a presentation document. But there are still some workarounds that we can try that let us turn a design prototype from Google Stitch into a nice looking, well-designed presentation document using various platforms. In fact, there are a few methods. There are two methods in this video that I'm going to explain. Essentially, later you can turn your Google Stitch design into a pitch deck like these examples. And also you can even use tools like CLAUDE Cowork to turn your design into a nice PowerPoint document like this example. And don't worry, I'm going to cover both methods in this video. Now, let's talk about the first method. So what you need to do is you have to open your project on Google Stitch, and I'm not going to explain how you can create a design or how you can use AI to design something. I mean, that's a completely different topic, but basically just open your project, and after that, you can select all the elements in that project. In this case, I'll press Ctrl A on my computer, and then I'm going to click export. As you can see, there is no option to create a PowerPoint document nor create a Google Slides document from the design. But what we can do is we can create a project brief. Now, this is going to be important on the next step. Just select this option and click project brief. And just wait for AI to generate a sort of summary or a bird's eye view of your design. It might contain some information like the layout, the color, and many other things. And this will be very useful on the next step. So later we are going to use an app called Gama.app. It is a very popular, very professional presentation tool that can turn any document or even Google Stitch design into a presentation document. So I got this summary project brief from AI. Now let me just move it somewhere closer. Okay, looks nice. Now, after that, we need to share this design, or basically we want to get a public link of this design. So click share and then enable sharing and remixing, and then you can copy the link. After that, you can navigate to Gama.app, and don't worry, I'm going to put the link in the description down below. And if you're using my link to join this platform, you'll get some extra credits without extra cost. Now, after that, you can log into your account and you can create a new document. Click this button and just wait for the next step. Now I'll select import file or URL. Oh, sorry about that. You have to select import from URL, and then you can enter the URL from Google Stitch. Click import and just wait for the next step. Later there is going to be a step that is very important where we have to set up a few things before creating the whole presentation. Now, right here in this step, you can select presentation and click continue. Now, after this, we can choose various settings like whether we want to use a detail or concise or maybe the theme for the document. Those are a few things that we can do. Okay, here on the left side of the screen, you can choose how much detail that you want to have on the document. In this case, I'll select concise. The language is English, and the visual, well, you have to select your style. So there are plenty of themes that you can apply, but I'll just select this one called Flamingo. Select theme, and then we can continue. For the image source, I will select don't add images, but don't worry, it will still add images. We just want to prevent AI from adding some related images into the document. And down here for the format, I do recommend to select presentation and then select the card size to be either traditional or tall. Now, do not use default, because when you are selecting the full width option, then the size from each slide could be different. So I think we want to get something that is a bit more consistent. So I'll select traditional and I'll select classic for the design mode, because this will let you to modify the content or the document later. Okay, now on the right side, you can see that you can add some extra instructions. This is very important. I'm going to use this prompt, and don't worry, you can find this prompt in the description down below. I will copy it. Let me just paste that, and then I want to generate maybe just 8 cards or 8 slides. They call it cards, not slide, and then click generate. So just wait until it create a full document. And the best part is that you can actually see the whole process in real time, and it is also very quick. I mean, you can create a full document usually in less than one minute. Okay, there you go. We can see the progress in real time. It looks really cool. Now, perhaps one thing that I do recommend to do after that is to maybe crop some images, because earlier we want AI to add images into the slide, but sometimes some images are really tall, so it's kind of skew the size of the card or the slide. So you might want to make the screenshot to be a bit smaller, and that will usually helpful. Okay, this is the result. It's not quite pretty, honestly. There are some problems. There are a few things that we probably have to change, but other than that, it looks quite decent. I mean, we can use this draft to work upon and make it look better. Now, if you like the result, then you can use it to present your ideas, or you can also just export that to Google Slides or perhaps PowerPoint document. And speaking about PowerPoint, we can actually generate I would say a slightly better version of the pitch deck using a tool called CLAUDE Cowork. To get that, you can navigate to claude.ai, and then you can log in with your Claude account. And this feature is, as far as I know, is only available for the pro or paid version of Claude. So if you're using the free version, then I guess you cannot use it yet at the moment. And I wish I could use something from Google, but we don't have a desktop app for a similar tool like CLAUDE Cowork. That's why we have to use Claude. Okay, it seems to take forever to open Claude, but basically just open Claude, and then you can navigate to the download button right here, and then download and install Claude Desktop to your computer, and you can log in to your account. Okay, the next step is we can open CLAUDE Cowork or Claude Desktop. They're actually merging everything into one single app. That's pretty nice. So right here, you can navigate to Cowork. Do not go to chat. We want to specifically use Cowork and start a new task. Now, we have to provide the document first, or the assets that can be turned into a document later. So let's go back to the project in Google Stitch. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to click share. Oh, not share, sorry about that. So I have to select all again, and then click export, and then select .zip, and then click export again. So we will get the zip version of this design. It will contain the colors, the information about the project, and also the screenshots, and of course the code. That is very important because it will see more info. It's probably and most likely will create a better document than, let's say, the Gama app. That's why I think this method is slightly better than the other one. So I got the document. This is the document. I'm going to right click, and then actually not the document. It's not the document. It is a zip file, and you can select extract all, extract again, and okay. So we got this folder, and it contains all the things that AI Claude can use to turn it into a presentation document. Okay, now let's go back to Claude again. I'm going to click this, not that one, this one actually. Work in a project. I'm going to use a different folder. I'll add that particular folder. So this one. Oh, I have to open it first, and then open again, select folder, click allow, and surprisingly we can use the same prompt again. So I'll use this. Let me just paste that on Claude, and well, click send or submit and just wait for AI to analyze all the items in the zip folder that contains everything about your Google Stitch design, and then AI will generate a PowerPoint document. This might take quite a while, but trust me, usually the result is going to be a lot better. So I don't want to waste your time, so I'll just skip about and I'll show you the final result. Okay, so it took about 7 minutes to finish, but finally it is done, and this is the result. So yeah, I think from the get-go we can tell that this is way better than the one that was created by Gama. Although again, you need the pro version of Cloud to be able to use the Cowork feature, and also it will consume a bit of your credit quota when you are using it. So there's a good chance that after this you might have already burned 80% of your daily limit. So that's one thing to know. But anyway, this is really cool, and of course, you can still modify it because this is in the PowerPoint format. And yep, I hope you learned something from this video. And if you want to see more use cases on using AI, then you can check this video up here, and I'll see you there.